Hey everyone, today we work on the Canadian Computer Computation year 2018 Junior Problems, Problem J2, Occupy Parking. If you have not read the problem text, you can pause here to read it. Okay, so after reading the problem, we know what we need to do, and we need to go through the text to get what we need for the code. So what we need here is that we have n parking spaces, so we need a number to track the parking spaces, and we have the parking occupy information of yesterday and today, and so we need to track these two information also, and then we need to do some calculation to say how many parking lots were occupied both yesterday and today. So now let's do the analyze based on the program phases, the three phases: the input, the data processing, and the output. So the input for this problem, that is n, we have the input specification here. So the n is greater than 1 and no bigger than 100. So, this n is the input number of parking lots, and then we have the occupy information of yesterday, and also the occupy information of today. So this is our input, and the data process, and that is to check the occupy information to see how many parking lots were occupied both yesterday and today. So we need to check the occupy information of each parking lot and the count of those occupied both yesterday and today, and then the output, and that is a count of parking lots occupied both yesterday and today. Let's change it to a little bit closer to the code. So we have n here, and we have the status, the information, and we have the occupy information, and that is dot and c. Dot is for vacant and c is for occupied. Without the input, we don't know the number of the parking lots. So in the code, we need an array for to track the information, and that array need to be created dynamically. So we do not know the size of the array without any input. So now let's do the code in C++. Okay, first we need to include the IO stream, and as we need to do the input and output, and we need to declare the namespace std, and then we need to declare the entrance, the main function, and we need to declare the variables for the number of parking lots and the information and the final count. So we need to declare integer for this is the number of parking lots, and the count of the parking lots that were occupied both yesterday and today. We need to initialize the count to be 0, and then we need to track the occupy information. Even though from the console the input is a string for each line, but here we need a char array as we care about each character, not the whole line as a string. So here we need to declare. Also, we cannot declare an array here as we don't know the size. So we declare a pointer, which will later be allocated a piece of memory. So we declare here y for yesterday and t for today, and now we get the input. We use the input stream, and first read the number of parking lots. And now as we have the number, and we can allocate the array, and then we can read the occupy information. So here we need to allocate a piece of memory. Char the size is a number, and we need to do this also for today's information. Okay, and now we have this memory allocated, and now we need to read the occupy information. So first the occupy information of yesterday, and then the occupy information for today. Okay, now we have all the input, and then we need to do the data processing, which is to check each character in these two arrays. And first we need a loop. In this loop, we need to check whether yesterday's information for each parking lot equals to today's information for this parking lot, and that is T I. Is this enough? No, this is not enough, because they can both be vacant. So we need to make sure it's occupied also. So here we add another condition, that is yesterday's information equals C, which means occupied. Do we need to check if today's information is C or not? We don't have to, as if yesterday's information is occupied, then today's information is also occupied, because the yesterday's information need to be same as today's information. So here we're good. And then if this is satisfied, we know this parking lot was occupied both yesterday and today, and that is the one we want. So we need to increase the counter. And now this is the data processing. So after goes through the two arrays, we get all the information, and then we need to do the output. Just print out count. So this is basically the code, and now let's test the code from the sample input. So the first input we have 5. Let's just run it. So the program is running. Let's check the input. And here the input is 5 for the total number of parking lots. And then yesterday's occupy information, that is CC dot C, and today's information, that is dot CC dot. Press enter, and we see we got 1, and which is correct output. We have another set of output, input and output, and we need to try it also. So now let's rerun this program. The output is 7. The parking lot is 4. So we have 7C here, and then we have C dot C dot C dot C. Now let's check the output. Okay, so we have 4 here, which is correct. And now we know that our code is working as expected, and this is the answer to this problem. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoy this video and this problem. Let me know if you have any comments and questions. I'll see you soon.